How old were you when you first went to the can, number one? I mean, the jail.
Well, I was first in a reformatory, but actually in jail I was 30.
Thank you. Number two was Lou.
There goes the bell, and that means no more questions. Mark your ballots as you will without consulting amongst yourselves. The audience and I will take a look at our friends over here at number one, number two, and number three. Has everybody got the ballot marked?
No, I haven't got my ballot marked.
Well, that's too bad, because you got to start.
I got to start. I tell you what I'm going to do, Gary.
Yep.
It's just like the producers of this show to get a young, all-American looking boy like number three with a prison record. The most unlikely looking one up there. And that's why I voted for him.
All righty, and you got a three show, and then we're going to go to Kitty.
Well, I agree with you, and I think number two is marvelous. Oh,
What?
I voted for number one.
Nice, perfect.
Nothing wrong with voting for number one. Nice fellow. Alan?
I found that number two did not know what a fish is. A fish, in fact, is a new man in prison, but both one and three knew that. However, number three said a guard helped him rehabilitate himself, and number one said he rehabilitated himself once he got out. And that sounds closer to reality to me, so I voted for number one.
Pair of ones and a three and big.
Well, number two said it was practically the same thing as a new man, and I think number two looks terrific to be a criminal. He looks so tough. But I always feel, my dear, that it's the, after all, you wouldn't get fooled by somebody like number two, but number three you trust with your life, so I voted for him.
By a variety of logics, we have arrived at the following conclusion. A pair of twos on each end, the votes are all in. Will the real Ed Edwards please stand up? Let's find out, Ed, about your friends. Number one, sir, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Mervyn Spritz. I am the president of the Maryland Council of the Jewish National Fund.
And he does a great job of playing George Raft, too. You notice what he wants to. Number two, please, tell us about yourself.
The name is Rick Klein. I'm a self-defense teacher, and I also do stunt work.
Yes, sir. Ed, there's one important point. You and I were chatting backstage, and I asked you what was the reaction in your neighborhood when you came out of the reformatory the first time. Were you put down by your fellow citizens, or did they look up to you?
No, when I was released from the reformatory, they looked up to me, and this motivated me to go on to bigger things, because this is why I was out there committing the crime, was for the recognition.
Mm-hmm. And this happens because a lot of people think it's a big shot thing to do, huh?
Yes, this is the more trouble you get into, the bigger you are in their eyes.
Well, I want to tell you, you look like a pretty big man from over here. And thank you very much for being with us, Mr. Edwards, and thank you, gentlemen, also.